is he going? To tell you the truth, I'm on my way to a classical music concert. Yeah, not quite my style, more of a jazz musician myself, but after doing research about classical music, you find out a lot of interesting things. Practice, history, education. It's a lot to know about classical music. But I also found out what it takes to succeed as a classical musician. Learning a completely different genre is more complicated for a musician. The transition takes time, dedication, practice, and sometimes even sacrifice of your previous genre. Many musicians understand the chosen genre because of the interest that they put into their own instrument. As a classical musician, there's much to learn that requires countless hours, theory study, and practice, maybe even patience. But first, you must have the knowledge of the history of classical music. Classical music can date back to as early as 476 AD and was referred to as medieval due to the time frame. This was around a time when they had outstanding composers such as Bach, Chopin, Mozart, Haydn, and the great Ludwig van Beethoven. A very difficult transition of jazz music or R&B music to classical music is a rare amount of improvisation using classical music. When a composer creates a score, there is very little improv within the piece. Improvisation was far more common in classical music pieces in the 19th and 20th century. It is rare that improvisation is performed in modern classical music. Composers may write a section within the music for soloists to improvise on their instrument. Improvisation is a very important essence in jazz and R&B and can come natural to any musician. Classical musicians really have to restrain the talent when performing a piece. It is even more of a challenge because a classical piece can last from 30 to even 3 hours per set. The instrumentation of classical music is very much different than the R&B and jazz ensemble. The instrument selection in the 19th and 20th century were very different from the modern classical music. Instruments found in orchestras are similar to instruments found in classical pieces. Violins, violas, cellos, harps, oboes, timpanis, piccolos, French horns are all instruments involved in the classical piece of music. There can be an exception for the choice of instruments used for classical music that is used for jazz and R&B ensembles. Many electric instruments are not used in classical music because of the traditional usage of many different acoustic instruments. Classical, as well as many of the various music genres, inspired through emotion. While jazz and R&B music has more relaxed and smooth emotion, classical music has many different emotions. For example, in Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, Ode to Joy, is performed at occasions of celebration, and his famous piece, Für Ersel, has more calm emotion. But no matter what emotion the musical piece is set in, every classical piece is distinct and precise. Every single note that is played is precise and played is written. It is as if rules were written for classical music and has to be followed in order to be successful for performance. So in conclusion, we learned that classical music is a very difficult genre to learn, but you must have dedication, you must practice, you must have time spent well to learn education and theories of classical music. In the words of great Beethoven, music is a revelation loftier than all wisdom and all philosophy.